Hey all, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share my experience with eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, so I have two instances in my life where knowledge and information hindered my experience in a moment. So the first one was when I was traveling on a road trip with my aunt to California. We were visiting her longtime friend. And we took like, I don't know, a few days, maybe a week to get to California. So it was a very slow road trip. We, took our time, stopped at all the places. It was a lot of fun. But we finally arrived to California and we walked into the house. We're standing in the kitchen and she's got a couple of Chihuahua dogs. And one of them walks over to me and I pick her up and I'm like, oh my God, how cute is this little dog? And I'm just like kind of giving her kisses and snuggles. And I'm like, we're all talking, Vicky had her son and her husband there and we're all just like, giving hugs and saying hi and talking about the trip. And I'm petting this dog here and I don't remember the dog's name. She was an older Chihuahua. I want to say it was Itty Bit, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so I'm holding her and petting her. And then Vicky all of a sudden looks at me and she's like, oh my God, I can't believe Itty Bit is letting you hold her. She is so mean to people. And the minute she said that, I like accepted that as the truth, not what my experience was in that moment, because my experience in that moment was she was letting me pet her. She was very sweet. She was very kind. And I just assumed that I just like went, picked her up, no problems, petted her, no problems, like we were just engaging. But the minute I accepted that knowledge and information of she's mean to people, she turned on me right away. As soon as I thought that, as soon as I accepted that to be true, she went and snarled at me and I like kind of like threw her down because I went into fear. So it was like a very clear, like, wow, that's so interesting. Like, I had no knowledge about this dog prior to my experience with her. And on the moment of meeting her, I just went and engaged with her naturally as I would, without any prior knowledge and information. Picked her up, no problems. Snuggling, no problems. I mean, the dog's mouth was in my face, no problem. The minute I accepted this idea that she was a mean dog, she became a mean dog. Fast forward probably 20 years almost, 15 years, I'm in South Africa and I'm on a farm staying for the summer, and I'm sitting in one of the girls' rooms with an older dog that I don't see very often. He's like an older dog and I don't remember his name. It started with a T. He was sitting on the bed. He wasn't like, this farm had a lot of dogs, probably 10 dogs at least, and he was not like one of the main big dogs that was like out and about, that was constantly like accessible to be playing, he wasn't like seen very often. He again was an older dog, smaller, and I saw him very rarely and didn't know much about this dog. And he was sitting on the bed and I went and sat down and just started petting him right away and like kind of giving him snuggles. And again, it was the same scenario. This girl looked at me and she was like, I cannot believe he's letting you pet him right now. He is so mean. And the minute I accepted that reality, he snarled and like kind of snapped at me, and I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. So I've had two experiences now where my experience without knowledge and information was I was able to engage with an animal in the environment, no problem. There was no ideas of fear. There was no ideas of who this dog was. It was like my natural inclination when it comes to animals, especially dogs, is that they're friendly, they're open, I can engage with them because I love dogs. So it's like natural for me to want to go and just nuzzle them and kiss them and pet them and give them love. And so it's like, that's my natural inclination. And my experience is then that I'm able to do that. I'm able to engage. I'm able to flow with this dog in the moment. There's no problems. But the minute you allow knowledge and information about what something is, it becomes then that. It's like the way, it's that point of, in physics, the observer changes what is seen. So the minute I allow an idea of what it is I'm looking at to change, and in this two scenarios, it was both times fear, that is then what I experienced. So this has been a very cool cross-reference for me in my life that has always come up here and there, and again now it's coming up more and more because it's that point of the child's natural inclination to just engage with it in its environment. There's no fear, there's pure exploration, pure wanting to get to know it, pure just assuming all is safe, all is good, I can just go and explore. But what do? Is we go and insert all this knowledge and information about what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong and what you should be afraid of and what you shouldn't be afraid of. And we project that shit onto this pure, innocent mind that is just here to explore. And so what happens? That child accepts the knowledge and information that we provide of good and evil, of morality, of the right and the wrong, which doesn't exist. It's not real. It's a construct. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There is no evil or, pure or evil. There's just life. There's just life. It's just us, and we're just here to explore. And so it's just such a important experience for me, because in those moments I should have, and this is kind of the point I'm taking with me further into my life, is that to trust my experience. Trust who I am in a moment and how I engage with my reality without allowing an external source of information and knowledge influence the way I experience myself with my reality. Because what you accept and allow, and this is fear or not, is what you create, is what you experience, is what manifests, is what is going to be your experience of it. So this is where self-responsibility comes in, to ensure that fear is not influencing how you experience your reality, because then you're creating fear. Like, the thing is, life doesn't have to be fearful. Your experience doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be a struggle. You don't have to have dis-ease. You can enjoy and flow and engage and explore without fear, without any knowledge or information that suggests that something is one way or the other. You have the opportunity to investigate for yourself and get to know it for yourself. And I encourage you, as I encourage myself, to walk into a moment without that knowledge of good and evil, without that idea of what's right and what's wrong and this is good and this is bad. To walk in the moment pure, in the moment, with no baggage, no information, no knowledge that is preventing me from seeing what is really here, which ultimately is me. I'm ultimately seeing me, because who was I in those two moments, those two scenarios? I was open and trusting of life and these dogs, and I just engaged with them very naturally. And then the moment I accepted an idea of who these dogs were, my experience changed and my reality changed and these dogs changed. So who ultimately determined that moment? Me. Like, that is how much power we have. So who you are matters. The knowledge and information you're accepting and allowing within yourself is influencing who you are and how you experience life. And take some inventory here. Are you satisfied with your life? Are you satisfied with your experience? Is fear the dominant experience for you? Is conflict, is discord, is troubles the dominant experience for you? I encourage you to empower yourself and realize that you're responsible, and so you can change it by changing who you are in that moment, by letting go of this knowledge and information that someone else told you how to think about something. Consider thinking about things as they are in their purest form, which is innocent and, just here. We just happen to find ourselves here, and now we can explore, and we don't have to label and judge anything as good or bad. We can just let things be what they are. So I just wanted to share that point, because I've had some experience now with that eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or whatever it's called. It's like that point of allowing information to influence who I am in a moment, instead of allowing me to be the directive principle of what a moment is and how it manifests for me and how I experience it. So I just want to share that. Thanks for listening, and if you have a similar experience or have any perspective to share, please share it. I would love to hear from you, and thanks for walking with.